I think Justin and we look back at what we built and we were just, and we still are so proud. And I mean, you look back at every single challenge and every single, build that we were able to create. I look back at that with nothing but incredible memories and admiration for what, the challenges we got, the time that we had to do them, and then the final result. And I just think the world of Justin. So I look back at it and I just smile like from ear to ear.
Absolutely. And what was going through your minds when the judges? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I couldn't hear Justin's speaking. And so I'm sorry. I was like, he started talking and then I was like, oh no. Because I know that Justin was going to add on top of that. Because I know him. Because this is our flow too, Shar. Is that one of us talks and then the other one immediately gets on top of that. Do you want to log out and log back in, Justin, just to see?
All right. Okay. So I'll just keep going. So what was going through your mind when the judges announced it was your time to go?
Oh, that was a really, really tough moment. No one wants to be sent home, especially on a build that you are so proud of and are so passionate about, especially during a challenge too, where we love Batman. I mean, I'm a Marvel guy, but you got to give it up for the Dark Knight. Like that's a tough one. But I think, when, I chatted with Maya actually on the phone yesterday for like 45 minutes, and as we were talking about the builds and the two of ours, I was like, yeah, ours was like yours was good. Like it was really good. Like we kind of deserved like we were in the bottom of the two of us. And it was kind of like this shared understanding, like between Justin and me, like we gave it our all. We were so proud of the ski mobile, but we also just know that, some parts of it just weren't as polished as maybe we really wanted them to be. So one, like I wasn't shocked when Jamie said our names, but that didn't soften the blow. I mean, it was still tough.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Go ahead.
Yeah, completely heartbreaking, of course, to leave. I think for both of us, this was such an experience of a lifetime to get to have. And the Batman challenge in particular with Will Arnett, like what an amazing opportunity to get to experience that. So I'm grateful we had that experience. I'm also a DC fan, or I mean a Marvel fan, but Batman has been a huge part of my life growing up too. So it was like within the DC universe, Batman was always the superhero that we rooted for. So such a fun challenge to get to do. I think after watching it a couple times this week now, and reliving those experiences, I see how we were going really big and really bold and taking some big risks, and I don't regret that. I think that's the piece that it's like we tried, we did our best, and 6 hours is not a lot of time. So happy that at least we went out swinging, even though definitely sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And actually that to Sharp, just to what Justin said, like if you don't take risks, you don't dazzle like the judges. You have to dazzle the judges. You have to show what you've not just brought to the competition, but what you've learned in each of the challenges. And I think in motion and color, even though vehicles weren't our forte, like we still try to apply all of that. So yeah, you go big, or you, in our case, go home.
yeah, and I was even just gonna ask you guys about the gadget and it not working. Looking back, would you guys have done anything differently with the design or just in what you guys were saying about the risk level of everything going on?
Mm, Sure. I'll go first, but I think John and I might have different answers here. So with the gadget, we both went into the challenge thinking and assuming that it needed to include power functions, which is where it moves on its own and you motorize it. And it was partway through the challenge that I looked around the room and saw that others were making mechanisms that were not requiring motors. And so I wish, in hindsight, that we would have pivoted at that point because for the time it takes to accomplish everything we needed to, doing something that you could flip a switch and physically move was much much easier and more accessible to do. But also at that point, by the time I had thought maybe we could pivot in that way, we'd already told the judges that we were doing a motor function. And so what we've seen historically with the show is if you promise the judges that they'll see something, that you need to deliver it. So I think that added some additional pressure to just keep on keeping on. And also, I think I believed we could still do it at that point. Like if we just push through, maybe we can. So yeah, in hindsight, I would love to go back and say, let's switch it. Yeah, that's my thought. So, what about you, John?
I'd say, Shar, there was an interesting moment during the judges' critiques, or at least that midway check-in, and Amy and Jamie come to our table, and at that point, like I had built this roof that was actually on top of the ski mobile, and at that time, like I spent too much time on that roof and trying to shape it and make it feel like a bubble in a sphere. And one of the first pieces of feedback, they were like, we need to see inside of it. If you're taking all these stories, we want to see inside. So losing the top to me was like, it was a little heartbreaking, but it was a pivot that we needed to make. I think that what happened too is that the rest of it, it just didn't feel as bubble as I really wanted it to feel like. And I think we went in just thinking, those Batman classic eras, like era of mobiles and different vehicles, they're all super unique, but they're very bubblish and they're very like just unique that you wouldn't see in a Batman now. So we were like, oh, good, we're doing a bubble. And then by the time of it, it's like it's not even an oval. It's like it's kind of a weird shape. But I feel like I definitely would have rounded things as best that I could have. And I think that visually would have really stuck out as something different and not just like a vehicle that's been put on skis.
Absolutely. And getting into, because you kind of mentioned it, some of the more behind the scenes moments that really stuck with you, was there anything funny, surprising, or just emotional that maybe we as the audience didn't see that aired?
That's a great question. Um, I think just across the season, or it's been really interesting for us to be watching how the show gets edited together and what elements get added in versus what elements were like, wait, did this happen in this way or whatnot? So one thing that I did find interesting in watching this specific episode is we were all told as a part of our brief that we needed to be basically car dealers and put on a huge like this is how we're presenting and sharing our vehicle or our Batmobile to the judges and to Will. And so the idea was to sell them on it. So John and I put a ton of effort into a really big and bold and flashy, ridiculous over the top pitch for this ridiculous vehicle. And that didn't air in the same way because the way that they edit things, they can't have every single person's full pitch. I mean, that would have been a large amount of time. But then also they pulled sound bites that were probably from when we were at the table, where I said things like, I feel like I'm going to cry. I didn't say that during judging. Like, we didn't downplay any of the things that I think came across, but also I understand, and no shade to the show. I understand why they weave some of those things in. But yeah, after watching it the second time, I was like, I know I didn't say that at that time. I did say it for sure, and that was true. So I think it would have been fun to just get to see like our full pitch because especially with this one, we went over the top and we're a little bit ridiculous. So what about you, John?
We were definitely heading into judging. We looked around and we saw all the builds, and Char, we were like, "Ooh, this is going to be a tough one for us. Like, we're probably like lower." So we were like, our presentation has to like eat. Like, we have to do a great job. And then I looked at Justin. We're like, we are lip syncing for our lives. This is it. And then we got up there and we just sang it. We tried to like the best that we could. So I think that would have been cool to see the entire pitch.
Yeah.
It was very Shark Tank meets classic Batman. So I was very proud of that. But I think overall, like just the way that the build comes together, like I think that I can see progress. I can see like watching the episode now, like where we started, where we may needed to pivot, maybe, and I'm just more critical of myself. And I'm like, oh, I really wish I would have done X, Y, Z, and that would have. So I felt like it was an appropriate progression of that. But again, yeah, the presentations at the end would have been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing I'll mention too is that we get a lot of time with the judges that don't really, it can't be shown in a 42-minute time frame, of course, especially the earlier episodes with lots of teams. And so I just want to give major, major credit to Amy and Jamie. They care deeply about all of the teams. They lean into the relationship. They also give tons of really critical and helpful and positive feedback. And we learned so much from them. And so that was probably my favorite part of this, beyond the Lego Masters family that we're a part of now, was really getting to learn from these two mentors that we all look up to. So,
I mean, I still want to put a request back into like the show and say, hey, could you give us the footage of Amy and Jamie's check-ins with Justin and
yes.
me? Because
Yeah.
we learned, like, I can't remember a whole 10-minute check-in, and we had six of those. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that would have been so cool to look back on. But the ask is still out there. So if somebody in production wants to send it to us, we would love to do it.
Absolutely. Well, our final question is going to be just any final thoughts or messages for fans of Lego Masters, especially at our pod where we cover it, and also just your fellow builders. If there's something that you learned from this experience, or if you want to continue to encourage people to go and sign up for Lego Masters.
I mean, I would say what a privilege it was to not just, represent the state of Texas, but as LGBTQ plus builders to be on the show, to make it through and to be given an opportunity to showcase our creativity and innovation and crazy thinking and crazy builds in such a on a such an awesome stage like Lego Masters is such a cool opportunity. And not many people really, get that. I think so many people, they go out for the show. You hear all these great stories about awesome builders, and I look back and I think, man, we were really like fortunate and blessed, like to make it on. And then I keep thinking, we were so like, but we're talented, and we absolutely deserve to be here. It's like that imposter syndrome that takes over. So I would say, like, as a suggestion for people in the future, like you are so much of a better builder and a cool builder and an awesome builder than you're giving yourself credit for. Don't be overly critical on yourself. It's like you are your worst critic. And Amy and Jamie wouldn't be that mean to you. So don't be that mean to yourself. Everyone has an awesome perspective. And it was just great to be given an opportunity to showcase that, but then also to be 100% ourselves, to be, John and Justin, and be two out LGBTQ representatives on this national stage. Like it was an awesome opportunity, and I look back and I gush because it was an awesome opportunity, regardless of the crazy challenge or the challenges of limited time or net limited or limited bricks and things. I mean, Justin and we are so proud of what we did. So I would give that advice, but then I have to keep reminding myself of that as well, and that puts a big smile on my face.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a gift to get to have this experience. And I would say that, watching past seasons, I remember thinking, oh, how much I would love to do this. And early on thinking, but there's no way I'd ever be ready. There's no way I'd ever be good enough or whatever. And so if there's anybody who's watching the show thinking, I could never do that, my recommendation is to start learning some of the things that you don't already know. Challenge yourself to try and build something in a new way. The best way to do that is by joining communities of Lego builders. And so John and I are both involved in our Lego user groups, which are in-person clubs of adults that build together and we challenge each other and stuff. But also we do a lot of stuff online. So I'm a Lego fan media ambassador, and through that I'm able to represent the brand, but also I use my platform to help educate others. And my hope is that people who interact with my platform leave feeling like they went from, oh my gosh, I could never do that, to, wow, I learned some things that can help me actually get to building something big and great someday. So yeah, so find us online. Also connect with us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time that we have today. But first of all, even before we close, we want to say thank you guys so much for sharing your story and the importance of diversity and representation. That's something that we really value here at Don't Blame Shar. So we really appreciate that. And yeah, we look forward to following you guys on all your future endeavors and all things like a Masters.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shar.
Thanks, Shar.